Caleb with Brownells here. In today's quick tip, we're going to be talking about where to mount your light on your AR-15. So this is a question we get quite a bit because you can literally mount the light anywhere on the handguard in most cases, because many handguards have mounting options all over them. Take this one for example. I can mount it here, I can mount it all the way up top, I can mount it on the bottom, but I have it mounted in a very specific spot. So let's talk about why we would mount a light in a particular position. So we'll start with this one here, and I'll just go ahead and clear real quick. All right, so this one's mounted on the right hand side and it's mounted kind of far up. So why did we do that? Well, this one has to be activated from right here because we don't have a pressure pad like we do on this one. So real quick, I'll just talk about what a pressure pad is. The pressure pad is basically just a activator that ties into the back of your light so that you don't have to physically push the back of the light, you just push the pad, and of course it's wired into the light. So knowing that and what it does, and knowing that we don't have one on this rifle, we're gonna need this one set up for a left-handed shooter because I'm left eye dominant. I'm weird, all right? So what we're gonna do is mount it on the right-hand side so that we can activate it with our thumb. Because if it was mounted on the other side, and you can see here, that would be super awkward to activate that light. I'd have to do some weird stuff. So it comes down to that. Now, I will say that if I was using a vertical grip, this would actually be a pretty good spot because whenever I'm grabbing that grip, I can push that button, but we're not. So it's on that side. All right, so why do we mount it this far forward? So this one's mounted pretty much as far forward as it can be because when I grab the rifle and put my hand on it, that's where my hand naturally falls. So it's more intuitive. I don't really have to think about it. I just grab it and the button's right there. Same thing if you were using a vertical grip on the opposite side. So you're gonna wanna mount it nice and easy, just like that. So if I were to mount it further back, it would be like super awkward to get my grip. I'd have to adjust it, think about it to get the light. It's more important to get that shot off than it is to think about activating the light. So why choose one when you can do both? Now let's get on to the good part. Let's talk about pressure pads a little bit. So let me get this rifle out of the way. We'll actually do a little bit of trading spaces here real quick. All right, so notice I have the pressure pad here and it's activated on top. So whenever I grab this rifle left-handed, my thumb's up here right on top, I can activate the light. Now if I were to switch and shoot right-handed, which I often do, I can still activate it with the thumb. Everything's exactly the same. So that is a huge benefit to having a pressure pad like this one, and I highly recommend them. Now let's talk about something else. So this light, as you can see, is mounted nice and low thanks to this Midwest Industries M-LOK mount. It's actually kind of tucked into that corner of the handguard there. Obviously having it mounted in such a way is nice because you don't have to worry about it as much banging on stuff and snagging it on gear because it has a lower profile. The lower you can pretty much keep everything on your AR-15 or any gun really, the better. So that's a big benefit to mounting it direct M-LOK at that angle. And I'll show you this one here real quick just to kind of give you a comparison. This one's mounted on a 1913 rail just so you can see how far out it's going to be hanging. And another point I'd like to make here real quick. If you're using a muzzle brake, it's not a good idea to have the bell of your light right up next to that muzzle brake because of that concussive blast from the brake. So keep that in mind as well. And it's okay to have it behind the ports like this, but keep in mind you're also going to have to keep that lens clean because it is going to accumulate some powder burn over time, which is perfectly fine, perfectly normal. But yeah, so that should give you some food for thought on mounting your light on your AR-15. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. As always, feel free to give us a call on the tech line, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.